This day 761, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor come to share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please come me directly. Be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Simon Tafsam Zion, Sif Mem Zion, and we're moving on to Tafsam Ches, Sif Hey. Mem Zion. Nimtzo Karim Bechavis Krub Maluach. He found a kernel of grain in a barrel of sauerkraut. Also called krub, all the cabbages, sauerkraut, which is sour cabbage, is also the covered kavusha because being soaked is like being cooked. That's when the brine goes on top of the kernel. I mean, it's gabav, but if the brine is not on top of the kernel, so it's not soaking, it's like salting. So it's supposed to had to go down a few finger breadths down and around and toss it out. Paracaution, the rest is good. You find it in, I believe, borekas is borscht, beets, beets which have a lot of water. Since it seems it's not as salted as the cabbages, it depends on the opinion if it's also in cold, love or not. But if it was there for 24 hours, it's obvious the kovish can bushel. I would just soak this out, which is like that, which is cooked. If you doubt it was there for 24 hours, near the suffix kovish mutar, the suffix of the soak is mutar. I saw that great authorities argue this point. The Shai Chuba says that Beis Yaakov allows and the Malkum Shmuel asks. Nearly Shemuter, I think it's permissible. Came to Isimashu have the Rabbanon. It's Isimashu and Pesach is anyway Nisi the Rabbanon. Sveik Rabbanon L'Kula. It ends up being Sveik Rabbanon and L'Kula. The Halacha says the Machzor Shekel is dubious about the Magen Avraham being Chamachmir of Savik Kavush, especially in these circumstances where it's no sitam and some of it's no sitam of gam. One can be lenient, and as long as it's only soft, not cracked, also there's room to be lenient as well. But essentially, Tarabin Maliga, Rakal Days fake, that which you didn't answer, that which you didn't allow when you were removing the feathers, only through a fake. That's where the Isser is clearly applicable, such as when it's in the hot. But you want to make a mutter. But when it's called Lega Isser Fanenu, there's no Isser in front of us. It's hot. The prior assumption is that it's also. It's cold. You need to have kavush 24 hours to make it more closer, and that's not a prior assumption. There's no issue for us. It was there for 24 hours. Mutter b'safik, therefore should be mutter in a safik. Even though for those who forbid in cold, it's a fake, which is for which is to in the direction to make it osir. Safik shematzoinin osir. It's something maybe if it's cold, it asks as well. If you're going to say the osir that it doesn't answer, maybe it was there 24 hours, and therefore it's kovish and now does answer. Way to explain the ikladin at Tzayim mutter. Explain the primary halacha is that in cold things are the mutter, the chametz does not answer. That's the general consensus among the Rishonim. Therefore, where there's a substantial loss, yes, it was Yodim and a curtailment of such as in the vessel of the beets, borscht, which is what there's all that the poor people have to eat on Pesach. Even great balabatim, even the great gevirim. They used to eat mostly borscht on Pesach. If you find a kernel in the vessel, it's not clear it was there for 24 hours. The Zorek HaGarin, you toss the kernel, Brekas between Luchan Pesach, you're allowed to eat the beets on Pesach. Even in Garin Mechavis Dogim Luchan, you find a kernel in a barrel of herring. Note those who are sure, you take that level of the herring, you eat the rest of it. The fish on which you found the kernel grain, you should toss somewhere repugnant where nobody's going to want to eat it afterwards. Those are show you and that roe in which you found it, You don't have to throw it out, but you have to Arukh HaPesach, leave it until after Pesach. By Sharm and the rest of the barrels made it all together. Back at Tzvam, we're going to have Rum, so you can let me grab me, pause, no. Unless you call Shalan to toss the entire row into the river, the entire level. I don't know why. Okay, now saying it's because the brine diffuses the taste, the all should be also the whole barrel. Okay, now it's like Mushkasafti, therefore I think it's the rest of the level you can just keep after Pesach, Veduk. Bilcha says that perhaps the issue of the this Rabbi Pozna is that maybe the kernel touched the entire level. Otherwise, in fact, we'd not be machzik iser from makam from place to place, and we say kanim so kanhoya. According to Taz, regardless, you shouldn't ask the level. So it seems to be a similar page to the Arukh HaShulchan. Memches, Tanigos ala eish b'shbut, a bird which is roasted on fire on a skewer. Shnim says b'chidum b'kas, and you found a cracked wheat kernel inside the chicken. So Barsha says as clear as there when the chicken was roasted. Most of the time, it's a very thin chicken. You cut out of it the place where the chametz might have spread based on the light amount of fattiness which it has. Based on your reckoning. Those who ask the entire thing, because when you turn over on the skewer, people normally doing roasting, the taste extends throughout the entire chicken. Okay, the Mishnah says that this is specifically about where the kernel is inside the chicken. According to Mishnah, also, it's not just where it's. However, on the other hand, it's not just where it's cracked; it's even where it's soft. If it's not soft, you don't need anything. Sharatzino says we don't know distinction today between thin and thick. Thin and fatty. Those are the terms. Lean and fatty. So therefore, even by lean, it's also by us. Mishnah Berurah says that if it's roasted on top of coals. You shouldn't ask for more than it can extend out to the fattiness. Anyway, the bottom line is we're not making because we don't know the difference between lean and fatty nowadays. This is the primary halacha, which is interesting because the Arukh HaShulchan holds evidently for this purpose at least we can distinguish between lean and fatty. Not like Mishnah. That even though we don't say you're turning over the skewer, that it extends throughout the entire piece. So that's because turning over the skewer doesn't give it a taste, and therefore it's bought up a shishim. However, mashu, we're dealing with mashu, a pesach shita, go rain. Turning over the skewer does have an impact. You want to ask even the other chickens which were roasted with it if it touched the other chickens. The I turn the skewer, it goes from one to the other. The other ones are trying the same skewer. Goes saying now touching is okay. We don't say that this goes into the skewer and then goes from to the other chickens on the skewer. Also, when we say this, only when the chicken in which the wheat was found is fatty. Then the iser extends to the other chickens on the skewer. Okay, it sounds like he is machmir like this. Yeshel hifli lachmir. According to the Ramah, roasting is no different than salting, and even if the chicken is completely lean, it's usher, even if you didn't turn the skewer. But the other ones, you can matter have say meruba if you know you didn't turn the skewer in a way, I guess, which would lead to them touching, influencing each other. Shaburdo says if the chicken is fatty, it answers even the other chickens that it doesn't touch. It's very common. Chorchaim is lenient in this. And even Badi says, who says you should be machmir when the fatty, even if they don't touch, it's only where the grain was cracked and not where the grain was just softened. V'machita nimtzeis b'Tanigos v'achar kach. So you find the wheat, the kernel of wheat in the in the chicken afterwards, and it's cracked. Obviously, it's better than Masakin Isum Ismail, even though we know we Maxi Isser Ismail, we assume it was there previously, and it got roasted inside. So it's probably there when it got roasted. So Tani goes and that chicken is awesome. We come never see Shari Tani going. Tani goes and observes the other chickens on the skewer. Yesh Lakel. You make it because you're not Maxiki Mokum. That would be called the lateral Mokum. Memtas, because I mean, it's wheat or barley. It says bezepek of is found in the crop of the bird. Also, after they heat it up, singed it, of mutar, the bird is permitted. You got to burn the wheat or barley. It's not going to be digested. But town reason says Arukh HaShulchan. The tziyena also you also make a klipa. Roast does not ask him more than a klipa. Zepek atzmo a klipa, and the crop itself is a klipa. It doesn't ask the rest of the chicken. Vav galpi minak shalano asim betzikol. Then it goes. Custom is to ask her when roasting the entire bird. Because since we just singed it here, it's not like roasting. I feel even if you did absolute salting, true salting, that's not the territory goes. I think the chicken is mutak shenim tzasepek b'taycha. When you find the crop inside it, in minei garenim with seeds inside it, which have a seed from a seed above, as I said previously. Even though we ask for every piece when there's salting together, which not a ham. You find the crop where it's likely it's already digested anyway. Yeshus Mocha Rabbi saying you can rely on the rabbis to say that it's enough to have salting to peel when the issue was one of salting. And certainly where the issue was singeing. Brackets here says, I'm where there are women. They remove the gizzard before they singe it, before they heat it up, because we don't know such minute. The they swell. Home as Pesach should do by a Jew. Cooking evidently. Assume cleaning. Not to do it, but maybe not. Yes, that's certainly true, correct, and that is the widespread minhag, which clearly referring to cooking and not to cleaning. Okay, shifting gears significantly here in Tav Samches. Now that's the melacha on Erev Pesach after noon. Now, Makom Shnagul Asos Melacha Erev Pesach on Chatzos Usim. Based on the custom to Melacha and Erev Pesach unto Chatzos, you can do Melacha. Makom Shnagul Asos, based on does not do Melacha, ain't no Usim, you don't. The Lama Nagul Asos, why they have a custom not to do Melacha? They shall Yishkach Piyur Chemsa, so you shouldn't forget to do Piyur Chometz. Ushchitas HaPesach and storing the Pesach. V'tikun Matzah Tzor Chalayla and preparing Matzah for the need of the night. Until Chatzos in the morning, in other words, has to do with the custom. But after Chatzos Midina also, it's also the Melacha according to the letter of the law. First, like Shalom says, so after Chatzos, the time bring the Pesach of Am Yisrael, have a Yontif. It's a holiday. Call them Yom Shemaki Korban. Any person on the day brings a Korban. Yontif will love also the Melacha. From it's Yontif that day. And he's out to Melacha and then he brings the Korban. That's a very big Kiddush. The Yerushalmi, I don't think the Bible says it anyway. Fair people's man is that, no, he's about to Yontif. Therefore, even our day and age, the Yontif is not cancelled. Bialocha says, this because the story of the Pesach, therefore Pesach comes on Motzei Shabbos, you're allowed to do Melacha on Friday afternoon, because she does Pesach only be the next day. Rashi explains that she shouldn't be Torah b'Melacha, and forget Beer Chametz. According to this, even when Pesach comes on Motzei Shabbos, it will be us to do Melacha after Chatzos on Friday. But Ropos can take into account the first reason, and therefore it's perhaps you don't have to be Machmir on Erev Shabbos, which is Erev Pesach. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. The Otu Davish Shnas Minyan, so which is not answered as Takana by a count of Chachamim. In Sanhedrin, in Lo Heter Av Shabbat Atam, it cannot be negated, even if the reason no longer applies. So we need another Sanhedrin to allow it. When it was made usher, somebody for usher for all the Jews, even ones that are not coming to do the incorporated korban. That based on their chutzlaretz. In Neshu Yom Klali. So it's a general answer for all of us. We should say Malacha Be'er Pesach. I've got so saying does Malacha Be'er Pesach afternoon. Lavad Chain of Roy. See Bracha Miklacha Zu. Now that he doesn't see a sign of blessing in this work that she does, Mikalali Ma'arin or so. You curse and curse him. So it doesn't matter if you're being paid for your work, you do it for free. That's also. So saying any you do by non-Jew. Yesh different opinions. The Mordechai Matir, the Mordechai says it's okay, but Mordechai says it's not okay. Yesh, I can say that Matir Sober, the person who allows this holds, she eats from the prohibition of rabbinic. Therefore, you can't ask her a non-Jew to do it. To say we can't ask to tell a non-Jew to do it. Those who sober, those who prohibit, Sober Isum Midorai, Isum Midorai, Isum Mochar Pesach is Midoraisa. Shibur wants to say that maybe it's a different Seifrim, which is like a middle ground between Rabban and the Raisa. Anyway, L'chein Koso Tes Sham, this Tes Raisa Sham Mashim Sham B'Dim Raisa also. Sham B'Tam Tzos B'Dim Raisa Kan L'Shon. You can't Shachas B'Zeh. I mean, Lein Yu Shus, and therefore there be any other is of the Raisa that telling not Jew would be a rabbinic prohibition. The bracket says here, Acharokeh Koso Amir Lein Yu Shvis Lo Sharach B'Shabbos L'Chol Moed Yontiv. He says telling not Jew the Malach is only a problem on a holiday, true holiday. Therefore. And Erev Pesach has to do malacha to a non-Jew, feel based even in your house. The minhag is like those who permit using a non-Jew for the malacha after chatzos. L'chein listaper achar chatzos. Also, they saw can't go to Jewish bar chatzos. However, they any good in mutar you can go to a non-Jewish bar. I feel he told Tzipor also chatzos. Even to cut nails is also after chatzos. There's the deals tzara achar chatzos. K'shishachal don't cut chatzos. Those who ever said that if you forgot to do it before chatzos, you can cut your nails after chatzos. The Shmuel says, yeah, you can make them, even by yourself, doing them yourself, even doing them, another person doing it, somebody does it for free. There is a malacha. Gemara leaning by Pesach, not to be a true malacha, relative to Pesach. Yeshim Bishul says, stop, I feel like they any of the achar chatzos. Those who ask getting haircuts, even my natural after chatzos, you can be stopper. The sex but because even the person who gets the haircut is helping a little bit in the process by moving his head around. Ve'eno ikar, it's not the actual halacha. Mabakach. So what? The Batzma feel taken Kalov Shari. He is allowed to. I don't know what he means. It can fix his own kalim. I'm not sure he's referring to here. He's allowed to koshkem b'chaygam. Is certainly this. The same about mamash helping out is not going to be significant. Maybe you'll have to help somebody fix your kalim. I don't know what he's referring to. Please done to let blood. No gulesukol yom itamacher. They forbade the entire day for another reason. The Erev Shavuos, Amru Chazal b'Shabbos sheyesh sakana b'zeh. Since Chazal say there's a sakana to let blood on Erev Shavuos, so therefore, l'chein gazu al kol Erev Yontiv ayin shor. Therefore, they said lo plug all every Erev Yontiv is also. L'chein shchafren shekrin pankis. Oh, that's like cupping. Amarival oser v'amario mater. The Rival says us, and the Mario says it's mutter. Because it's not like bloodletting. The dam shel shrafin ain't no bipim misaguf k'dam akaza. It's only comes from the outer layer of the body, not from the inner blood system. Near the Erev Shavuos, so the cupping will be allowed on even on other Erev Yontiv, but not on Erev Shavuos. Erev Yontiv, the night before Erev Yontiv, Hakol Mutter, there are no restrictions whatsoever. Shmuel says some people allow Erev Yontif except for Hoshana Rabbah, because that's Erev the second day, so it's the day of Din. Erev Shavuos should be Machmir. Erev Yontif Shlachon, everybody's Matir, because it's not going to be a regal unto itself. And which also is the night before Erev Yontif, you're allowed to let blood unless it's the night of Hoshana Rabbah. It's only true malacha like sewing clothes. They're doing work in order to make money. Attacking nuclear. Here's the tikkun kalim from the previous sif. We're running what it is. Here it is. The person can fix his kalim yontif. I guess it really means to fix a broken vessel. Back on the Chol Moed Lo, you have to say, can't fix a broken vessel on the Chol Moed. Erev Pesach can Chol Moed. Nevertheless, Erev Pesach is more lenient than Chol Moed. The Chol Melachos, therefore, all the Melachos Yitarnu. The Chol Moed, which allowed Chol Moed, called Davar Aved, like a Davar Aved, and something which is going to be have a loss if you don't do it now, etc. Which is by Chol Moed. As you were saying, Chol Moed, Koshken Mutter Erev Pesach. There's only been on Eve of Pesach. The Chemish says, "Vochim Latzo Derech Limudo." So he's for him for himself as part of his learning. Mutter Erev Pesach. That's permissible. Erev Pesach Koshken Chilov Chidushay Teira. So the right Chidushay Torah is made. I feel the Igros Rishus Nogim Matter, and the custom is even to allow you to write optional letters. So not involved in the mitzvah on Erev Pesach after Chatzos.